Hey everyone, welcome. On this channel, we're going to get into an advanced look at the story Disastrous Necromancer. Come with me as we unravel the journey of Lin Moyu, from his beginnings to him becoming a force to be reckoned with in a mysterious new world. If this story sounds like something you'll enjoy, please like, share, and comment. Your support helps us keep providing these in-depth looks into the world of Disastrous Necromancer. Now let's continue.
The saying goes that persimmons are picked when they are soft, but Lin Moyu did not come specifically to pick soft persimmons. He came for the Shimu fruit, or more precisely, for the Shimu ancestral tree. The Shimu fruit contains a peculiar power that is useful to many races, but useless to humans. Lin Moyu needs the Shimu fruit to obtain something from it. The Shimu race is very special. In ancient human records, information about the Shimu race was classified as top secret. In ancient times, humans had already researched the Shimu fruit. Because of the secrecy of the information, even during the Great Catastrophe 10,000 years ago, humans managed to keep this information intact, and it was not obtained by other races. Other races only thought that the Shimu fruit could help them cultivate and improve their skills, but they had no idea of its true use. Lin Moyu arrived outside a galaxy, enhanced his vision to the limit, and saw the situation within the galaxy, even the conditions on the planets. On a life-bearing planet, about half of the land was covered with a peculiar type of tree. The fruits on these trees were the Shimu fruits. Nearby, many Shimu people were tending to these trees, picking the ripe Shimu fruits. When picking the Shimu fruits, a strange hatred would appear in the eyes of these Shimu people. But they hid it well, so outsiders would not notice. Only those who knew the inside story would understand where the Shimu people's hatred came from. The Shimu race is very special. They have no gender distinction. Every Shimu person is both a father and a mother, reproducing asexually. These trees, which appear to be trees, are actually the avatars of the Shimu people, and the Shimu fruits on them are their children. To personally pick their own children and turn them into someone else's fruit, how could the Shimu people not hate? But for the sake of survival, they had no choice but to send out the Shimu fruits. Over the past 10,000 years, countless Shimu fruits, countless of their own children, have been sent out. A pitiful race, but also a sinister one. A cold smile appeared on Lin Moyu's lips. Others might not know about the Shimu race, but he knew very well. The Shimu fruit contains a peculiar energy. When consumed and absorbed, it can improve one's cultivation level. However, it can also form a seed within the body. This seed is very secretive and will not be discovered. Unless a Saint Lord consumes the Shimu fruit, it is unlikely to detect the seed's presence. Those who have consumed the Shimu fruit and formed a seed within their body are called seeded ones by the Shimu race. The actions and words of the seeded ones can be known by the Shimu people. To be precise, they are known by the father of the Shimu fruit. For countless years, the Shimu race seemed to be confined here, constantly oppressed. In reality, they were fully aware of what was happening outside. Around the Shimu race, a surveillance network composed of several races monitored them. After all, the Shimu race was once very powerful, even stronger than them. If the Shimu race were to rise again one day, it would be disastrous for them. Fortunately, for 10,000 years, the Shimu race had been very obedient, with no other thoughts, just to survive. 5,000 years ago, the Shimu race finally seized an opportunity to send some of their people out, leaving the domain and heading to the outer domain. The Shimu race hoped to form a new branch outside and develop well, eventually returning to kill their way back. At that time, humans had not yet recovered their vitality and were frantically seeking opportunities in outer space, with the entire race in a state of extreme frenzy. Those Shimu people who escaped were unfortunately encountered by a human god, and not just any god, but a peak god, who exterminated them on the spot. However, the Shimu race did not know this. To maintain secrecy, they cut off all contact. They did not know that their only hope sent out had already been lost. Lin Moyu came this time to eradicate the Shimu race and avenge the blood feud of 10,000 years ago. Secondly, to sever the cause and effect and receive the reward of the Great World Rune, and to comprehend the Tao again. Thirdly, for the Shimu ancestral tree. As long as he obtained the Shimu ancestral tree, he could control all the Shimu seeds, equivalent to bringing countless eyes and ears to the human race. Who knows how many Shimu fruits had been sent out in 10,000 years, how many seeded ones there were. Lin Moyu guessed that the seeded ones were likely spread throughout the great world, in all races. It was possible that even humans had them. Although the Shimu fruit was useless to humans, curious ones might have tasted it. The hell of bones flew out, enveloping a galaxy. Screams echoed as the Shimu people on the life-bearing planet were quickly devoured, and the Shimu trees were all burned into juice, merging into the river of hellfire. The hellfire accepted everything, burning everything into juice and sending it to the river of hellfire. Lin Moyu brought death, descending upon galaxy after galaxy. 86 galaxies disappeared from the starry sky in less than half a month. But this time was different from before. Due to the special nature of the Shimu race, at least 4 races were monitoring them nearby. These monitors were alarmed when they noticed the abnormality of the Shimu race. They only saw a gray mass of gas enveloping the galaxy, and then the galaxy disappeared. Lin Moyu used the laws of space to hide his figure, making it difficult for others to discover him. A gray mist shrouded the periphery of the Hell of Bones, making it hard to see unless one got close. Some brave ones approached, but as they got close, the Hell of Bones would suddenly expand and devour them. Anyone who dared to approach became nourishment for the Hell of Bones without exception. Lin Moyu was bold. He wanted to use his own way to tell all races that the ghost race truly existed. The monitoring races, filled with fear, reported the situation. Unlike the human race with the Emperor's network, their information spread slowly. By the time the news reached the ears of the Saint Lords of various races, Lin Moyu was already standing in front of the Shimu ancestral star. On the ancestral star, a giant Shimu tree, towering 10,000 meters high, stood between heaven and earth. This was the Shimu ancestral tree. As long as he obtained it and used some secret methods, he could control all the Shimu fruits sent out. In this way, the human race would gain countless eyes and ears. For safety, Lin Moyu chose to act personally this time. The Hell of Bones was too dangerous and might kill the Shimu ancestral tree. The Hell of Bones still shrouded the galaxy, turning the entire galaxy into a cage. The nearby monitors had been eliminated by Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu descended openly from the sky, landing directly in front of the Shimu ancestral tree. The 6 rare god-level Shimu people watched Lin Moyu with extreme vigilance. All 6 were high-level gods, far surpassing Lin Moyu in realm. They still did not dare to act. There was only one reason: Lin Moyu was human. Once pierced by Shao Zanshan, even after 10,000 years, the Shimu race still feared humans. Seeing these high-level gods cowering, Lin Moyu felt that this race no longer had a reason to exist. Finally, one god gathered the courage to ask Lin Moyu, "Human, what are you here for?" Lin Moyu replied, "To kill you and take the ancestral tree." His tone was extremely calm. As he spoke, Lin Moyu was still examining the Shimu ancestral tree, not even glancing at the gods. He did not care about the feelings of these high-level Shimu gods, not even considering them. And rightly so, for what was there to see in dead people? Anger rose, and the 6 high-level god lords trembled all over with rage. Since when could a mere 3rd-level god lord come before them so arrogantly and declare he would kill them? This was the ancestral star of the Shimu race, not the ancestral star of the human race. Yet they still did not take action. One god lord growled, "Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you're human." Lin Moyu chuckled lightly, with a hint of disdain. "It seems your spirit has been broken. After the battle with Saint Shao, even your will to fight is gone. Originally 50,000 years ago, you tried every means to send out some of your people, thinking you could make a comeback. Now it appears that even if those people were still alive, it would be useless." Lin Moyu's words left the 6 of them stunned. This matter was extremely secret. Even within the Shimu race, very few people knew about it. How did Lin Moyu know about it? And he spoke of it so casually. How do you know about that? Who exactly are you? What did you do to those clansmen? 3 questions came from 3 god lords in succession. From their voices, one could hear that they were very frightened and afraid. Lin Moyu's words had scared them. Lin Moyu said, "Perhaps you'll be able to reunite with them soon." His tone remained calm, without any fluctuation. But falling on the ears of the 6 god lords, it was like a thunderbolt out of a clear sky. They were not stupid, otherwise they would not have cultivated to the level of high-level god lords. They fully understood the meaning of Lin Moyu's words. A sense of despair grew from the bottom of their hearts. Finally, someone could not bear it any longer and let out an angry roar, charging towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu smiled, "You finally show some spirit, but it's too late." Gray mist surged from his body, and the Hell of Bones appeared at will, swallowing up that god lord. The hell fiends pounced like wolves and tigers, starting to frantically gnaw. Screams rang out one after another. In the blink of an eye, that god lord perished, body and soul destroyed. Having easily killed a high-level god lord, Lin Moyu acted as if he had done something trivial. "Next, it's your turn. But you can rest assured, I still have use for the Shimu ancestral tree, so I'll keep it for now. When it's no longer useful, I'll send it down to accompany you." The remaining 5 high-level god lords were completely despairing. One of them said in a trembling voice, "Can you really not spare us?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "When you invaded the human race 100,000 years ago, you should have been able to imagine this day would come. You don't need to resist. The more you resist, the more painful it will be. All these years, you've worked hard to produce so many seeded ones. From now on, you won't need to send fruits to others anymore." That high-level god lord spoke again. "You are human, and have come for revenge. We will accept it and won't resist. But can you grant us one last request?" Lin Moyu nodded. "Let's hear it. Perhaps I will agree. Can you please spare our ancestral tree? You can take it away, but please don't destroy it. This is the last trace of our Shimu race in this world. We beg you." The group knelt down before Lin Moyu. This final request from 5 high-level god lords on the verge of death moved Lin Moyu slightly. "Let me think about it." He did not agree immediately. The Shimu god lord's request made him feel something was not quite right. Silently, his soul power enveloped the Shimu ancestral tree, not just the trunk, but also the intricate roots and numerous branches. No matter how the Hell of Bones acted, it would be limited by Lin Moyu's soul and would not harm even a bit of the Shimu ancestral tree. As his soul power flowed, encompassing the Shimu ancestral tree, Lin Moyu suddenly let out a soft exclamation. He actually sensed a trace of life force from within the ancestral tree. In its deepest part, there was a life being nurtured. Is the ancestral tree being reborn? The Shimu ancestral tree had long since died. Its current function was more like a magical artifact that could be used to control all the Shimu fruits. After all, it was the origin of the Shimu race, the ancestor of the entire Shimu race. All Shimu people flowed with its blood. At the same time, it was also the spiritual totem of the Shimu people, worshipped daily. Lin Moyu carefully sensed it. With his extremely keen soul, he perceived the extraordinary nature of this life form. Undeniably, this life form was very powerful, with an extremely vigorous life force, even stronger than a god lord. Because of the ancestral tree's wrapping, it could not be sensed at all from the outside. It might be born as a transcendent realm being, which was simply an inconceivable existence. Even the dragon race seemed unable to reach this level. At the same time, Lin Moyu sensed intense resentment and anger within the life form. Lin Moyu gradually understood the origin of this life form. It was a killing spirit born from the condensed resentment of countless Shimu people, using the body of the Shimu ancestral tree as a vessel. This kind of life form was extremely powerful, born as a transcendent. It might not have the realm, but it could possess the battle power of a transcendent realm, and might even be stronger than an ordinary transcendent. It was somewhat unreasonable. However, its drawback was that it only knew how to kill, without much wisdom. It was more like a killing weapon than a true living being. The Shimu race nurtured such a life form within the Shimu ancestral tree for the purpose of killing. They wanted to kill all the races that had oppressed them, which of course included the human race. If he really kept the life form inside the ancestral tree and brought it back to the human race, who knows when the life form inside might descend, carrying the collective resentment of the Shimu race. The surrounding humans would inevitably suffer. At that time, who knows how many people would die. A smile appeared on Lin Moyu's lips, his gaze growing increasingly cold. He said softly, "Don't worry, I'll keep your ancestral tree." Hearing this, smiles appeared in the eyes of the 5 high-level god lords. But Lin Moyu continued, "The ancestral tree is still useful to me, but the thing being nurtured inside, I won't keep." As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of the 5 high-level god lords changed drastically. All 5 of them charged towards Lin Moyu as if they had gone mad. Countless wisps of mist surged from Lin Moyu's body, instantly enveloping them and encompassing the entire planet. Screams rang out as the 5 high-level god lords were surrounded by hell fiends. No matter how they attacked, it was useless. The 8th-level god lord hell fiends quickly tore them to pieces. Not just them, but all the Shimu people on the planet could not escape. Even the planet itself, Lin Moyu intended to take it all away. A few minutes later, there were no more living beings on the planet, only a desolate land remaining. The containment formation flew out, and Lin Moyu unhesitatingly packaged up and took away the entire star system. Then he too vanished from space. 2 days later, the powerful experts of the 100 Race Alliance arrived belatedly. But the result was the same as before, they found nothing. Lin Moyu had done a very clean job, leaving no traces behind. However, this time there were several eyewitnesses. Through their descriptions and recorded images, they learned some information about the ghost race. The Deep Abyss Demon Lord said in a low voice, "So this is the ghost race. The entire body is shrouded in mist, unable to see what's inside. The Black Golden Saint Lord of the Golden Eagle race said softly, "Where the mist passes, even star systems disappear. It's really just like the records say, where the ghost race passes, nothing remains." It was clear that the two of them were very wary. Obviously the ghost race made them feel quite troublesome. Especially since the ghost race came and went without a trace, swallowing up a star system each time before disappearing, then reappearing in the next star system. Fear appeared in the eyes of the Blood Bull Saint Lord as he snorted hot air. "So this is the ghost race." The Deep Abyss Demon Lord said, "Now that we have traces of the ghost race, we should take the initiative instead of being passive. Let's see if we can kill them." The Black Golden Saint Lord felt the Deep Abyss Demon Lord's words made sense. "I agree with what the Deep Abyss Demon Lord says." The Blood Bull Saint Lord's face changed drastically. What initiative? Actively seeking death? Through that terrifying great figure, the two Saint Lords of the Bull Demon clan had already come to deeply believe in the fearsome nature of the ghost race. Even ordinary transcendents would retreat at the sight of the ghost race, while Saint Lords would certainly die if they encountered them. Just this statement alone was enough to illustrate how terrifying the ghost race was. He did indeed have trump cards that could kill the hidden experts of various races. But he was also only a Saint Lord, and his trump cards were useless against the ghost race. Now the Deep Abyss Demon Lord and Black Golden Saint Lord were discussing how to deal with the ghost race. He felt these two fellows were seeking death. But he couldn't say that. The Blood Bull Saint Lord was very anxious inside. The Deep Abyss Demon Lord's gaze swept over. "Blood Bull Saint Lord, do you have any good ideas?" The Blood Bull Saint Lord pretended to think. "At present, there are no good ideas. The ghost race appears and disappears unpredictably. No one knows where they will show up next. First it was the Blue Crane clan, then the Cold Water clan, and now the Shimu clan. These three races are completely unrelated, and their locations are very different." The Black Golden Saint Lord said, "Actually, there is some connection. They are all located on the edge of the domain, very close to the outer space." The Deep Abyss Demon Lord's voice was cold. "That's right, this is the common point of the three clans. I guess the ghost race has actually been active along the boundary between the inner and outer domains, so the three attacks were all on races in the marginal areas." The Black Golden Saint Lord continued, "Besides the same location, these three clans have another thing in common. They don't have any transcendence in their clans." The Deep Abyss Demon Lord agreed with his view. "The Black Golden Saint Lord is right, this is another common point. So we can deduce that the ghost race can sense the strength of various races, and they choose to attack weaker races. From this we can infer that the ghost race is actually not as strong as we thought, just that their actions are too mysterious. If we can catch them head on, we may be able to deal with them." The two Saint Lords spoke in turn, making their case eloquently. If he hadn't received warnings from that great figure, even the Blood Bull Saint Lord would have almost been convinced. But now, no matter what they said, the Blood Bull Saint Lord felt it was untrustworthy. He could only go along with it, planning to make a show of effort without actually exerting himself, and flee immediately if things looked bad. The Deep Abyss Demon Lord said in a low voice, "There's a human saying I think is good. To repel foreign invaders, one must first ensure internal stability. If we want to join forces against the human race, we must first resolve the ghost race issue. If we can't even maintain internal stability, how can we talk about attacking the human race together?" His words were decisive, determining the direction of the 100 Race Alliance's actions going forward. Then the 100 Race Alliance began to make arrangements against the ghost race, setting up various defensive measures and conducting close surveillance. As long as the ghost race dared to appear again, several Saint Lords would take action immediately to deal with them. The Blood Bull Saint Lord listened to their discussions, rarely offering opinions, only thinking about how he should escape if they really encountered the ghost race, and in what posture he should flee. In the human divine city, the Heavenly Saint Lord looked at the battle situation just reported by the Human Emperor Network. "It seems the information we released has taken effect. With Lin's cooperation, the 100 Race Alliance has begun to make arrangements against the ghost race, and the pressure on the front lines has eased considerably." The House Saint Lord drank tea with a smile. "We expected this would happen. This is good, we can take the initiative during this opportunity and let those youngsters get some good training." The Heavenly Saint Lord said, "The battlefield is the best place to temper people. Although our casualties in recent years have been higher than in previous years, the speed of cultivation has also accelerated, and many talented individuals worth nurturing have emerged in our race. In recent years, because of the constant battles with the 100 Race Alliance, many talented individuals have emerged from the human race during the fighting. They have already been marked by the Human Emperor Network and are being intensively cultivated. The War God Temple has also recruited many people from among them, passing on secret techniques from within the War God Temple to further enhance their combat power. The human race's foundation and resilience are much stronger than other races, especially when facing pressure. They show even more astonishing performance. The more time is delayed, the better it is for the human race. Now the human race needs to turn from passive to active, and begin to take the initiative to attack. This way, the pressure faced by the 100 Race Alliance will increase. Both sides have their own considerations, constantly making arrangements and changing strategies. Meanwhile, Lin Moyu, who was regarded as the ghost race, was still immersed in his own cultivation. Shortly after he left the Shimu clan, the reward from the Great World Rune arrived as scheduled. Lin Moyu once again felt the joy of the Great World Rune, and some of the karma entangled around it lessened. As a member of the Great World, Lin Moyu also felt a sense of relief. Under the reward of the Great World, he successfully entered the state of enlightenment, and the enlightenment time increased compared to last time, reaching 3 days. During the 3 days of enlightenment, most of the time was spent cultivating the laws of time, and the remaining time was spent cultivating the laws of space. The mastery of the two laws improved again, from 22% to 24%. Like last time, the improvement was still only 2%. Although the enlightenment time increased by 1 day, a 50% increase compared to last time, the degree of understanding of the laws did not change, still at 2%. The reason for this was that resistance appeared in the enlightenment state, which Lin Moyu called Dao poison. The remaining power from the previous 2 enlightenments accumulated like poison, affecting the effectiveness of this enlightenment. Lin Moyu spent some effort to merge the 2 laws. I can't continue anymore, I need to wait for a period of time to digest the residual toxicity produced by enlightenment. 3 enlightenments in a short period of time made Lin Moyu feel the after effects of enlightenment. This also shows that everything has 2 sides, even the best pills have toxicity. Lin Moyu sensed the residual Dao poison in his body. He could feel the Dao poison slowly dissipating, very slowly, but fortunately very steadily. After careful calculation, he got a rough number. It will take about 50 years for the Dao poison to completely dissipate. Then I'll go back first, and use these 50 years to comprehend runes. The warship sailed silently through space, flying quickly through vast distances along deep space. Just a month later, Lin Moyu returned to the Dark Void. Then he left the warship and traversed the Dark Void alone. With his mastery of spatial laws reaching 24%, his control over the laws was stronger, and his perception of space became more acute. Now each step could reach 50 million kilometers, 1 step per second. At the Saint Lord level, only the Saint Lords of the Golden Eagle clan could compare when initiating spatial jumps. But the flexibility of spatial laws was far beyond what the Golden Eagle clan's Saint Lords could compare to. If he activated the time laws as well, time would double, 2 steps per second, reaching a speed of 100 million kilometers. Going a step further, merging the 2 laws, the effect of spatial laws would double again, reaching an astonishing speed of 200 million kilometers per second. Lin Moyu only needed a few steps to cross ordinary galaxies. However, the effect after merging the 2 laws was still not as good as the 3 light rune. If he used the 3 light rune, the speed could reach 450 million kilometers per second. This speed had already far surpassed ordinary transcendent realm beings. Only some transcendent realm beings who specialized in speed might be able to compare with Lin Moyu. Although it was still slower than the Wings of Death, it was more flexible and could be used in actual combat. He tried to see if he could draw more powerful runes, but unfortunately did not succeed. Although his understanding of runes had increased a lot, the 3 light rune was still his current limit. To draw more powerful space-time runes, he needed to advance further in his attainment of runes. Space-time distorted around him as Lin Moyu appeared and disappeared silently, traversing the dark void without a sound. In the Divine City, at the entrance of the Central Divine Palace, the Heavenly Saint Lord, Hao Saint Lord, and Fu Saint Lord were present. The 3 great Saint Lords of the human race waited there, gazing up at the sky. Behind Hao Saint Lord, Little Mist was still playing with a new toy. In Little Mist's hands, streams of laws rotated like currents, forming delicate little vortexes. Little Mist's talent for cultivation was extremely high, but for now she was more interested in playing. Hao Saint Lord had once taken Little Mist to tour various galaxies, collecting many toys. In between cultivation sessions, Little Mist would play with different toys, able to enjoy them for long periods. Human Emperor, where has young friend Lin reached? The Heavenly Saint Lord suddenly asked. The voice of the Human Emperor Network responded, he'll arrive in a few minutes. The Human Emperor Network monitored the entire human race. From the moment Lin Moyu began returning, the network had informed the Saint Lords. Fu Saint Lord said, young friend Lin said he would give us a surprise. I wonder what it could be. How Saint Lord's eyes gleamed. Actually, it's not hard to guess. Think about what young friend Lin did on this trip. What did he do? He disguised himself as the ghost race and wiped out the Blue Crane, Cold Water, and Shimu clans. Then he erased those star regions. The Heavenly Saint Lord said, I don't know what method young friend Lin used to bring back so many planets. Fu Saint Lord belatedly realized, do you mean young friend Lin didn't destroy the planets, but brought them all back? What else could it be? How Saint Lord smiled, Fu Saint Lord, you shouldn't focus solely on studying runes all the time. Sometimes you need to think about other things too. Fu Saint Lord smiled, I'm not good at that sort of thing. The Heavenly Saint Lord laughed, Fu Saint Lord has devoted his life to runes. You know what he's like. It's fine if he doesn't think about it. Keeping things simple is good too. How Saint Lord nodded, perhaps it's because he's simple enough that old Shu was able to become the Fu Saint Lord. Suddenly, Little Mist, who had been playing with her toy, called out happily, Master is back. As soon as she spoke, the three Saint Lords saw Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu appeared in space outside the Divine City, still 1,000,000 kilometers away. A second later, their gazes shifted downward as Lin Moyu appeared before the three of them. Master, Little Mist happily tossed aside her toy and pounced over, clinging to Lin Moyu like a koala. The Heavenly Saint Lord and How Saint Lord's eyes showed a hint of surprise. Lin Moyu's movement just now had greatly shocked them. Not because Lin Moyu's speed was too fast, but because Lin Moyu had ignored the Divine City's defenses. The Divine City was filled with various arrays. Lin Moyu had disregarded them all. This display revealed Lin Moyu's powerful mastery over the laws of space. Lin Moyu smiled and said, Greetings, seniors. Fu Saint Lord nodded with a smile, not bad, you've reached God Lord 3rd level. The Heavenly Saint Lord asked, Congratulations, young friend Lin. Your control over spatial laws has advanced further. Lin Moyu smiled and said, Seniors need not worry. Spatial laws alone cannot directly break into the Divine City. I also used temporal laws to achieve this effect. The fusion of temporal and spatial laws produced space-time power. Space-time power was incredibly mysterious. Although Lin Moyu was clearly right before their eyes, it felt as if he wasn't in this time point. Though the Divine City had many arrays were ultimately inanimate objects. They had not detected Lin Moyu at all. To these arrays, Lin Moyu was not in the same time node as them, so naturally they had no effect. Hearing Lin Moyu's answer, the Heavenly Saint Lord finally relaxed. Otherwise, facing someone who could control spatial laws, wouldn't the Divine City's defenses become a joke? How Saint Lord looked at Lin Moyu with great satisfaction. Where's the surprise you mentioned? Right here. Lin Moyu waved his hand, and dozens of containment formation talismans flew out. Hundreds of talismans hovered in mid-air, glowing brightly. The Saint Lord stared wide-eyed at the talismans filling the sky. This is. Fu Saint Lord reacted most strongly, exclaiming excitedly, Containment formation talismans. Lin Moyu smiled, Senior has a good eye. Indeed, these are containment formation talismans. The Heavenly Saint Lord now understood and urgently asked Fu Saint Lord, Are these the containment formation talismans we've been unable to fully research? Fu Saint Lord answered decisively, That's right. I wouldn't mistake them, these are definitely containment formation talismans. He anxiously asked Lin Moyu, It's said that containment formation talismans can trap enemies when attacking, conceal oneself when retreating, and even contain all things. Is that true? Lin Moyu confirmed Fu Saint Lord's words, Indeed it is. Seniors can see for yourselves. Lin Moyu activated the talismans. One only needed to probe inside with soul power to see the conditions within the talismans. Inside the talismans, vast spaces were revealed, each containing planets. Each talisman represented a galaxy. A full 300 galaxies had been packaged up and brought back by Lin Moyu. Although 300 galaxies wasn't a huge amount, it could at least accommodate large numbers of humans and provide sufficient resources for hundreds of thousands of cultivators. Lin Moyu handed all the containment formation talismans to the Saint Lords. These resources in his hands wouldn't be of much use. The Saint Lords would find suitable locations to release the galaxies and transform them into environments suitable for human habitation. Then Lin Moyu took out another containment formation talisman. This contains the Shimu ancestral tree. As seniors know, controlling the Shimu ancestral tree allows one to control all the seeded ones. The Heavenly Saint Lord's eyes lit up, That's right. This way, our human race will gain many more eyes and ears. How Saint Lord asked, Young friend Lin, who do you think should control the Shimu ancestral tree? Lin Moyu looked at Fu Saint Lord, Let's not trouble two masters for one task. We should leave this matter to Fu Saint Lord. Fu Saint Lord was in charge of the human race's intelligence system. It was most fitting to give him the Shimu ancestral tree. Lin Moyu wasn't worried about it affecting Fu Saint Lord's cultivation. After all, Fu Saint Lord wasn't alone. He had the entire Shu family and many rune masters behind him. Fu Saint Lord said, "No problem. Leave this matter to me." Lin Moyu continued, "However, there's one issue to deal with first. The Shimu people gathered all their resentment and used the ancestral tree to nurture a life form. When this life form is born, it will likely reach the transcendent realm immediately. It would cause great disaster then. A transcendent realm life form, if it appeared, even if immediately suppressed, the mere shockwaves of battle would be enough to destroy billions of light years of space. If there were any galaxies nearby, the people in those galaxies would be unlikely to survive. But the Shimu ancestral tree was still useful now. The life form inside was connected as one with the ancestral tree. Killing the life form directly would destroy the Shimu ancestral tree along with it. Fu Saint Lord thought for a moment, we could place it in an uninhabited galaxy. That way, even if the life form emerges, it won't cause much trouble. Lin Moyu said, I considered that too, but it's not very suitable. This kind of strange life form born from resentment is very difficult to truly kill. If it escapes, it would be very troublesome. The implication was that even Saint Lords might not be able to completely kill this kind of life form. No one knew what abilities this life form might possess. A life form nurtured from the resentment of countless Shimu people over countless years, who knew what special abilities it might have. This was not a good gamble to take. How Saint Lord suddenly said, there's another way. In the treasury, there's a magical item called the Heart and Soul Stone. The heavenly Saint Lord's eyes also lit up, that could work. We can use the Heart and Soul Stone to control it. No matter how much resentment it has, it can be used for our human race. How Saint Lord said, since it specializes in killing, I think we should let Old Killer control it. It might greatly increase Old Killer's combat power. What do you think, young friend Lin? Lin Moyu smiled and said, I have no objections. Lin Moyu only wanted to cultivate. He naturally didn't want to manage this kind of thing. He just brought the items back. The rest was for them to worry about. The Heart and Soul Stone was once a powerful magical item of the Soul Spirit race. After conquering the Soul Spirit race, the human race obtained a few of them. Over the years, some were consumed, leaving only a few remaining. The Heart and Soul Stone can be used to control souls, but it also has limitations. It needs to be used when the mind is just about to awaken, and cannot be used on soul bodies with mature intelligence. The Soul Spirit race once used the Heart and Soul Stone to control those giant space beasts that were about to awaken intelligence. It could also control some anomalies like the Red Star Supreme being that awakened intelligence later, as long as it was used before they awakened. Beings controlled by the Heart and Soul Stone are called Heart and Soul beings. The former Soul Spirit race once had a vast army of Heart and Soul beings under their command. Using the Heart and Soul Stone to control the Shimu ancestral tree is indeed the best choice now. After discussion, the Saint Lords decided to let the Killer Saint Lord carry out the control. Among the Saint Lords, except for the Fu Saint Lord, the Killer Saint Lord has the weakest combat power. But the Killer Saint Lord excels at stealth and assassination, and can often play unexpected roles. If he could have the assistance of a Heart and Soul being, it might further enhance the Killer Saint Lord's combat power. Moreover, according to Lin Moyu, the life form inside the Shimu ancestral tree could reach the transcendent realm upon birth. If nurtured well for a period of time, it might possess Saint Lord level combat power. The Fu Saint Lord stared intently at Lin Moyu, his meaning couldn't be clearer. He wanted to learn the containment formation, and wanted Lin Moyu to teach him. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't keep it secret, but dismantling runes was not easy to learn. It required extremely high talent and a very keen soul. Lin Moyu didn't know if the Fu Saint Lord could learn it. But before he could speak, the Fu Saint Lord suddenly bowed to Lin Moyu, Master Lin, I humbly request you to teach me the formation. Lin Moyu was stunned. It was one thing for others to call him Master Lin, but for even the Fu Saint Lord to call him that. You're a Saint Lord after all, and currently the number one in the human race's rune techniques. Is it appropriate to call me Master Lin? This way, wouldn't my status be higher than a Saint Lord? Then how should the Hao Saint Lord and Heavenly Saint Lord be addressed? Lin Moyu couldn't help but feel a headache coming on. Beside them, the Hao Saint Lord and Heavenly Saint Lord suddenly burst out laughing. They weren't surprised at all by the Fu Saint Lord's actions. Having known each other for many years, they knew the Fu Saint Lord too well. The usually quiet and reserved Fu Saint Lord would turn into a complete fanatic, even somewhat crazy, when it came to runes. Concepts like seniority meant nothing to him in this context. This was the Fu Saint Lord's personality, and also his way. The Hao Saint Lord said, "Young friend Lin, don't mind the Fu Saint Lord's words. If you're willing to teach, then teach him a bit. If not, just ignore him." The Heavenly Saint Lord also laughed and said, "Old Hao is right. You don't have to teach if you don't want to. It's fine to tease him a bit." The two of them were joking about the Fu Saint Lord. They could joke, but Lin Moyu couldn't. After all, when he first came into contact with runes, the Fu Saint Lord had given him a lot of help. That book, Rune Language, was also given by the Fu Saint Lord. Lin Moyu said, "Fu Saint Lord, I've actually already organized the method for drawing the containment formation. It was originally meant for you." However, the Fu Saint Lord's eyes revealed extreme joy. "However what?" Lin Moyu said, "However, it involves the method of dismantling runes, which may be a bit difficult to cultivate. You can try it first, and if there's anything you don't understand, you can come ask me." Lin Moyu spoke euphemistically, but everyone could understand. It was clearly not easy to learn. As he spoke, Lin Moyu handed over a jade tablet. The jade tablet already had the method for dismantling runes recorded, as well as the method for drawing the containment formation. Actually, the containment formation itself wasn't difficult. The difficult part was dismantling runes. If one couldn't do that, they wouldn't be able to complete the containment formation. The Fu Saint Lord took the jade tablet, scanned it with his soul, and his aura surged wildly. The extreme joy in his eyes increased even more. He immediately said, "Thank you, Master Lin. I'll go study the formation now." After saying this, the Fu Saint Lord rushed impatiently towards his cultivation room. In his view, nothing was more important than the containment formation. The Hao Saint Lord said, only by being so obsessed with the way of runes could he achieve the way through runes and become a Saint Lord. The Heavenly Saint Lord said, indeed, how could one achieve the way without wholeheartedly devoting oneself? Lin Moyu didn't speak. He understood very clearly that achieving the way through runes was indeed very difficult. If one only wanted to achieve the Saint Lord's way, as long as their talent was decent and they worked hard enough, the probability of becoming a Saint Lord wasn't low. But if one wanted to become a supreme being, besides hard work, they also needed to look at talent and opportunities. None of these could be lacking. As for becoming a heavenly lord, without supreme talent, it wasn't even worth thinking about. Lin Moyu knew that even if the god's path hadn't been cut off, the Fu Saint Lord's upper limit would only be a supreme being, and the weakest kind of supreme being at that. Not just the Fu Saint Lord, but all the Saint Lords in the human race were like this. Their rule worlds weren't strong enough, barely reaching an ordinary level. They couldn't be considered perfect and had no chance of becoming heavenly lords. The Heavenly Saint Lord smiled and said, "This guy, he's really impatient." The Hao Saint Lord was clearly in a good mood too. "Young friend Lin, do you plan to go out again after coming back this time?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "I plan to seclude myself for a period of time to study runes and solidify my foundation." The Hao Saint Lord nodded. "In that case, I'll take you to a place where you can cultivate freely without worrying." Lin Moyu also knew that his previous cultivation had damaged the cultivation rooms in the Divine City. This time he was going to study runes, which would inevitably involve experiments. He didn't know how much commotion it would cause, so the Divine City indeed wasn't very suitable. Little mist cleverly got down from Lin Moyu's body. Lin Moyu was going to cultivate, and there was no use for Little Mist to follow. Before leaving, Lin Moyu specially looked in the direction where Old Yan was. There, formations were rising, and one could vaguely see the Lizard God War Palace. Clearly, Old Yan was still researching. Anyway, the Lizard God War Palace wasn't of much use for now, so let him research slowly. After leaving the Divine City, the Hao Saint Lord quickly accelerated. As a Saint Lord, his speed was already at the extreme. Even without using spatial laws, his speed was no slower than Lin Moyu's. Around him, all laws were distorted, leaving only the power of rules. Relying on the powerful rule power, the Hao Saint Lord forcibly tore through space, achieving an effect similar to spatial law teleportation. Seeing this, Lin Moyu immediately used time laws, increasing his speed to 100 million kilometers per second. But even so, he still couldn't keep up with the Hao Saint Lord. He then fused the two laws of time and space, forming space-time power, and accelerated again. His speed reached 200 million kilometers per second, barely keeping up with the Hao Saint Lord. Lin Moyu knew this was already his fastest speed in normal conditions. If he wanted to go faster, he would either have to use the 3-light rune or the Wings of Death. The Hao Saint Lord smiled and said, "Space-time power, it's really not bad." He was somewhat envious, but more so proud. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "You flatter me, senior. I've only just touched the surface." The Hao Saint Lord said, "This old man tried to comprehend it before. Forget about time laws, I couldn't even touch the surface of spatial laws. You've not only comprehended both laws but also fused them, so you don't need to be too modest. It's really not bad. In the current world, if your talent is ranked second, who would dare claim first? Lin Moyu smiled and said, my sister. The Hao Saint Lord was speechless, then burst into laughter. Right, you're correct. Lin Moyu asked, where are we going? He felt the direction was a bit off, as if they were flying towards the very center of the Divine City Star region. The Divine City's location was already the core, but it wasn't the very center. The Divine City Star region was very large, and the true center was still some distance from the Divine City. The Hao Saint Lord acted mysterious, you'll know when we get there.